Once upon a time, in a great kingdom, there were 12 beautiful princesses. To each of these princesses, dancing was a favorite pastime. One day, while the youngest princess was looking out of the palace window, she noticed that there was a red light shining in the well in the garden. Without telling anyone, she made her way out to the well. When she looked into it, she couldn't see anything but light, so she caught it with the bucket and pulled it up. What could this be? She saw that inside the bucket, there was a pair of shiny red shoes. Then the princess put the shiny red shoes on, and then suddenly she found herself dancing incredibly well in the garden. Oh my goodness, these shoes are magical! Just look how beautifully they're making me dance! Just then, a little fairy appeared. She said to her, "Be honest and share the shoes. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for the magic." And she disappeared. The young princess did not pay attention to what the fairy said and did not tell her sisters about the shoes. The next day, they were hosting a grand ball. The young princess put on the magic red shoes and went to the ball. When everyone was watching her beautiful dance and admiring how graceful she was, the middle princess asked her with curiosity, "Sister, you have never danced this well before. Where did these shoes you have on come from?" The young princess said that she always danced like this and lied to her that her father had given her the shoes as a gift. Just then, to her horror, the shoes stopped working, and the young princess, thud, fell to the ground. What happened now? The young princess quickly took the shoes off her feet and quickly ran back to her room, followed by curious looks. The next morning, her sisters asked the young princess about the shoes. "We like the shoes very much. Can we perhaps wear them too?" But this time the young princess told her that she had lost the shoes somewhere. Her sisters realized that the young princess was lying to them. The little princess tried the shoes on again, secretly from her older sisters. But instead of making her dance well, the shoes quickly dragged her out to an old hut in the forest. Help me! The young princess was being pushed around in the hut because of her shoes, and she found herself stuck in a huge spider web and could not escape. Someone help me! Someone get me out of this! At the same time, all the princesses were curious about the young princess who had not been seen for hours. They all went out to look for her everywhere. Finally, the oldest princess was passing by a hut when she heard the sound of her sister crying. When she entered the hut, she found the young princess all tangled up in a spider web. She pulled from one side and then from the other, but no, she couldn't do anything. Then all of a sudden, the princess's red shoes caught her eye. The moment she took them off her feet, the spider webs disappeared all by themselves. The young princess gave her sister a big hug and gave her her deepest thanks. "I know. All of this happened to me because I didn't share the shoes with you." Her sister said that selfishness was a very bad thing, that she should go and apologize to all her sisters. The princesses set out for their palace. The young princess regretfully apologized to all of her sisters. "The important thing is that you realized your mistake, little one." And so, all the princesses discovered the magic of the shoes and the power of sharing things with each other. They started taking turns dancing with the magic shoes at their balls. The story of the princess who chose to share her shoes has been told for generations in the kingdom.
Red shoes. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a very cute girl named Karen. She lived in a tiny house with her mother and was a very happy girl. She would ask her mother about everything she was curious about.
"Mom, what are these tiny lights in the sky?"
"They are stars, Karen. Everyone who lives on Earth eventually turns into a star and shines in the sky forever." Karen only had one toy. one dress, and a pair of wooden slippers she wore on the street. The wooden slippers her mother made for her were not very comfortable, but they were the only ones she had. One day, Karen's mother got very sick. So Karen went to town to buy medicine for her mother, and along the way, she found a pair of red shoes in a box on the roadside. The shoes shone so beautifully that Karen couldn't help but bring them home with her.
Look, Mommy, I found these by the roadside. Aren't they beautiful? Just right for me.
These may belong to someone else, Karen. You should immediately take them back.
But if they had an owner, she wouldn't have left them there with the box.
Maybe the owner dropped it accidentally.
Then they shouldn't have dropped it. I found them. They belong to me now. They're mine.
Baby, listen to me carefully. I may not be able to buy you new shoes right now, but I don't want you to wear someone else's shoes just because of that. Please, don't be stubborn. Promise you won't wear these red shoes. Karen sadly promised her mother not to wear red shoes and hid them under her bed. Months passed by until one day Karen came home and couldn't find her mother in the house. She looked all over until she realized that her mother had become a bright star. The next day, on her way to her mother's funeral, Karen put on those red shoes. Those who came to the funeral couldn't take their eyes off Karen's shoes.
How dare she wear red shoes? So disrespectful.
But Karen did not care because she loved her shoes. A good-hearted old woman passed by the cemetery. This old woman learned that this little girl was now an orphan and wanted to adopt her.
Come with me, pretty girl. I will do my best to make you successful and beautiful when you grow up.
So Karen went to live with the old woman for many years.
Karen, you've been wearing these shoes since your mother's funeral. You need to take them off now. They're so dirty. No, I love my red shoes. Oh, Karen, don't be so stubborn. Come on, change your shoes. I'll buy better shoes, I promise.
Karen did not want to offend the old woman who had been so kind to adopt her. So she finally took off her red shoes and threw them away. Days passed until one day, Karen was playing in her new room with her new clothes and toys, and the old woman brought her a new pair of shoes. But Karen didn't like these shoes at all.
But these are blue. Very ugly. I don't like them at all.
So for years to come, Karen missed her red shoes a lot. She grew into a beautiful young lady, but her stubborn attitude never changed. Even when the old lady brought her gifts.
I don't want to wear this thing, but I knit this for you. I'll never eat this food. Make me French fries. At least take a little bite, darling.
The old woman was very upset when Karen got up from the table without having a meal. She made French fries for her and took them to her room. At that time, Karen was taking off her blue shoes.
Look! See? All my things are so small now. I've grown up. Well, come on then. Let's buy you new clothes and shoes.
Then the old woman and Karen went to the store.
Oh, look! Just like my favorite red shoes. I must have them. Let's get these. Karen, you don't need fancy red shoes. You need shoes that you can wear respectfully. Like if we need to go to a funeral. I can only buy you one pair of shoes. Let's buy those black ones and go home. I am very tired.
I don't care. If you don't buy both shoes, I'll walk barefoot everywhere from now on.
Little girl, I wish you weren't so stubborn.
The old woman bought the black shoes for Karen and spent the last of her money to appease her with the red sparkly shoes, too. They had to walk home on foot. The old woman's feet hurt a lot along the way, and she could not keep up with the spoiled Karen. And Karen didn't care. She walked on home with her new red shoes. One day, the old woman told Karen that they needed to attend a funeral in town.
Karen, be sure to put on your black shoes. Otherwise, it will be disrespectful at the funeral.
Karen looked at the black shoes in her room, and then at the bright red ones. She chose to put on the red shoes. When they left the house, she covered them up with her skirt, so the old woman would not see the shoes. However, at the funeral, everyone saw Karen's shoes, shining brightly under her skirt. They spoke amongst themselves about Karen's red shoes at the funeral, and about how disrespectful the shoes were. When what was said came to the old woman's ear, she got very angry.
You didn't listen to what I told you, and you put on the red shoes again. You're so stubborn, Karen. Show some respect.
A handsome young lord passing by at that time was struck by Karen's beauty. He came to her and went down on his knees and gave her compliments.
How beautiful you are, and so delicate in these beautiful shoes.
My lord, you make me blush.
You must be a very good dancer. I invite you to the dance night in the palace tonight. Please come.
With the happiness of the Lord's offer, Karen started dancing with joy. But after a while, Karen couldn't stop dancing. Why can't I stop my feet? What is happening? Oh! Karen started walking away from the old lady and the Lord while she was dancing.
Karen, come back.
Even though the Lord chased Karen for a while, he lost her. Karen's red shoes turned out to be more stubborn than Karen. They took her until top of the mountain and made her dance day and night for 3 days. Karen's feet hurt so much that she screamed at every step.
Oh!
Even though they got into the mud and prickly needles stuck, the shoes kept dancing. Enough! I'm very tired. I won't be so stubborn from now on. I promise. Please stop. Shoes, please stop. Stop. And when Karen said she'd give up all her stubbornness, the red shoes jumped off her feet, and Karen, too, fell to the ground. And the red shoes kept on dancing without her. Karen found a stick and managed to limp home in pain. Her legs hurt a lot. She started to cry with happiness when she saw her house. The old woman greeted her at the door. They hugged each other. I know I was a very stubborn girl, but I promise I won't be like that anymore. After Karen gave up her stubbornness, things started to get better. One day, someone knocked on the door. It was the young and handsome Lord.
Well, there you are, Karen. I tried to keep up, but you danced so fast. How did you do that?
Karen was glad to see the handsome and young Lord. That was the day the Lord and Karen's love began, leaving stubbornness behind. Karen lived a happy and peaceful life. One morning, while the treacherous wolf was hunting in the forest, he saw a stork family flying in the sky. He knew they had built a nest in the hills, and they had eggs in that nest. And that gave him an idea.
Ha ha! I found what to eat. Stork eggs. But I have to think about how to get to that hill.
And cuddled up warm in that nest was a baby duck, sleeping soundly. His stork brother rang the bell to wake him up.
Hey, wake up, duck. Quack, quack, quack.
The duck woke and jumped up.
Huh? What's going on?
We're going for a flight. Mama will check the eggs. Don't fall asleep and be eaten by the wolf.
Wolf?
Yes, 'cause you can't fly high like we do. So, see you later, little flightless duck. Bye-bye.
But little did they know, the treacherous wolf was already watching them and planning. When the stork siblings flew up into the sky, the baby duck tried to follow, flapping his little wings on the edge of the reeds. He hoped that one day he'd be able to fly. But his practicing was interrupted when he spotted something shining brightly among the reeds.
Ooh, what's that?
The bright thing he saw was a pair of red shoes.
How beautiful they are. I wonder if they will fit on my feet.
As soon as the baby duck put on the red shoes, he took off from the ground and flew high in an instant.
I'm flying! I'm flying!
The baby duck immediately followed the stork family.
Oh, look, the baby duck is here.
Wow, how did you get so high?
Thanks to my magic red shoes. Look!
Down below, the wolf was watching them in amazement.
Magic red shoes? Now I have a great plan.
At night, while the stork family and the baby duck were sleeping, the wolf sneaked up on them. The red shoes glowed brightly, even in the dark, and he stretched out his claws and grabbed them by the strings.
Tomorrow morning, first thing, I'm going to have a stork egg omelet.
The baby duck awoke as the morning sun rose, and he was alarmed when he couldn't see his red shoes next to him.
Oh no! My shoes! My magic shoes are not here! How am I going to fly?
The baby duck rushed to look for the mother and his siblings.
Mother Stork! Brother! Where are you?
However, he could not find them anywhere.
Now I won't be able to fly high without my magic red shoes.
While the baby duck was crying with sadness, he noticed the treacherous wolf flying overhead.
I'm flying! Here I come, stork eggs. It's breakfast time.
Oh, my shoes! The wolf stole my red shoes!
The baby duck tried very hard to follow the wolf, but it took all the strength his little wings had to take off, and then he would fall back down to the ground.
Oh, I have to protect the eggs from the treacherous wolf! Oh, if only I could fly!
The wolf landed in the nest with the magic shoes and stepped towards the stork eggs. The baby duck could see him trying to get the eggs, one by one.
The stork eggs are in danger! I must stop the wolf!
The baby duck mustered up all his courage and flapped his wings as hard as he could.
Eggs! I must save the eggs!
Finally, the baby duck was in flight, high in the sky for the very first time.
I'm flying! Yay! I can fly! Ha!
The baby duck landed and sneaked up on the wolf. He grabbed the shoestrings of the magic shoes and quickly pulled them.
What? The baby duck? Shoes?
Just at that moment, the stork family quickly came to the baby duck and drove the wolf away from the nest with a fury. The treacherous wolf fell into a swamp.
Help!
The stork family thanked the baby duck for saving the eggs.
Now you can fly as high as we do.
Yes!
Then it's time to fly together as a family, kids. The baby duck was so very happy he could fly, and from that day on, he realized that he should never stop trying and that he didn't need magic shoes. He just needed courage and perseverance. So the baby duck became the only brave duck that could fly with the storks in the sky.
In a land far, far away, there was an old king and his 7 princess daughters who loved to dance. The girls were so jealous that the king bought each of them the same dress to avoid a fight. But the princesses were still complaining about this situation.
I'm so tired of wearing the same dress every day.
We too! That day, while the youngest of the princesses was wandering around the palace in a bad mood, she heard loud noises. The noise was coming from behind a mysterious door in the palace. When she went and opened the door in curiosity, she was very surprised by what she saw, because in front of her, there was a pair of red shoes that were moving on their own. The shoes came dancing and stood right in front of the princess. When the princess curiously put on the shoes, she started running at an incredible speed.
Wow! How fast I'm running!
The princess set out on a long, desolate road wearing magical red shoes. Finally, the magical shoes stopped by themselves somewhere far away in front of a famous tailor. There were such beautiful dresses here that she asked the tailor for one of the dresses to wear at the ball.
Of course, ama unutma, bencil olanı elbise cezalandırır.
The little princess took the dress and returned to the palace at the same speed, ignoring the tailor's words. She secretly placed her shoes under her bed while the others were sleeping, because she didn't want to share her clothes with her sisters. She wanted them to be only hers. The next evening, all the sisters gathered to dance in the ballroom. While all 6 princesses were wearing the same old clothes, the 7th princess entered the hall in a different, brand new dress. Curious, her older sisters asked the little princess where she got this dress from. But she didn't say anything and danced to the sad eyes of her sisters and enjoyed her new dress. Days passed. The little princess came to the ball in a different and new dress every evening. She didn't care at all about her sisters, who couldn't come to the ball because they had to fix their old clothes. On a prom night, the shiny buttons on the little princess's dress caught the middle sister's attention. She knew that these buttons were only found at a famous tailor far away, but it was impossible for the little princess to go and come back all the way to that distant tailor in one day. To solve this, the sisters decided that one of them would stand guard over the little princess. Wherever she went, one of her older sisters followed her, and they never left her alone. Finally, one night, the little princess saw her older sister falling asleep during the watch. She took this opportunity and immediately put on her red magic shoes and bought another dress from the tailor.
Oh,
Oh, I got so many dresses. My sisters will be so envious.
The next day, one of the older sisters noticed a huge tear in her old dress. She went and asked the little princess for help.
I can't dance at the ball in this costume. Could you please give me one of your new clothes?
No, I can't. They're mine. They're made for me.
The little princess went to the dance alone, not caring for anyone. While she was dancing, showing off to the guests in her new outfit, one of her older sisters heard clattering under the little princess's bed. When she bent down, she saw the red magic shoes moving on their own. The moment the middle princess put on the shoes on her feet, she started running fast around.
Wow! What's going on?
The middle princess was out of the palace in a blink of an eye.
Oh, where did she go?
Wow, she was just here. How fast was she? The princess crossed the mountains and hills in a very short time. And when she finally reached that tailor, the shoes stopped on their own. She couldn't believe what she saw when she entered. Dozens of fancy, shiny dresses were standing in front of her.
Oh, so she could get to and from the tailor so fast in magical shoes.
Can I have a dress too?
Elbette. Ama unutma, bencil olanı elbise cezalandırır.
The princess listened to the tailor's words.
I promise I will never be jealous or selfish.
Then she put on a new dress and returned to the palace at the same speed. On the other hand, while the little princess was dancing alone in the ballroom, her outfit suddenly turned into a shabby dress.
Huh? What happened to my beautiful dress? What's going on? This is so embarrassing.
While the guests were watching her with bewilderment, the little princess went back to her room crying. She searched everywhere for her magical red shoes to buy new clothes, but she couldn't find them anywhere.
Ugh! Where are my red shoes? Who took them? Tell me now!
At that moment, her middle sister appeared before her with the magical shoes in her hands. Plus, she was wearing a brand new dress.
Were you looking for these?
Yes?
The little princess thus realized that her secret had been revealed, and she was very embarrassed that she did not care about the tailor's words. Her older sisters told her that sharing is the most important thing in the world, and the little princess apologized to all of them. From that day on, she shared her magical red shoes with one of her older sisters every day. The shoes took turn taking the princesses to and from the tailor at incredible speed. Thus, all the princess sisters were able to buy new clothes and dance happily in the ballroom for nights. Once upon a time, there was a lazy girl who lived in a small town. This girl never liked to work. Instead, she would sit all day in front of the mirror and daydream. She always complained about her shabby clothes and never tried to buy new ones. One day, the lazy girl went to the market. While walking past the shop windows, she bumped into a young girl named Karen. The two of them fell to the ground at the same time. Karen's glowing red shoes caught the lazy girl's eyes. These were the shoes she had always dreamed of.
Well, I really like your shoes.
Oh, really? Thank you. Yes, I think they are very nice too.
Could you tell me where you got your shoes from?
Karen explained that her shoes were the only ones and were custom made for her. The lazy girl was very sad when she heard this.
But if you bring me 3 bags of gold, I can give them to you.
The lazy girl accepted this offer, saying that she was actually very rich, even though she did not have that much gold. However, the lazy girl, who had never worked in any job before, got a job at a bakery the next day. The baker asked her to make 10 loaves of bread and place them in baskets. The lazy girl began to knead the dough with difficulty. She was already bored when she just got the second loaf of bread.
Ugh, this job is not for me. I'm getting dirty.
When the baker wasn't looking, she crumpled the paper bags on the side and threw them into the basket. She placed 3 loaves of bread, which she had barely made, on top of them. Thus, to make the bread appear like there was more.
Wow! You finished it in such a short time! Well done! Here's a bag of gold for you!
The lazy girl ran home just as she grabbed the gold. She never went back to that shop again.
Only 2 bags of gold left. Once I earn them, the shoes will be mine.
It was the next day. The lazy girl got a job at the grocery store this time. The green grocer asked her to remove the rotten fruit, but the lazy girl didn't want to touch the rotten fruit.
Oh, but these rotten things will ruin my nails.
When the green grocer turned around, she arranged the good fruits on the top row. Thus, the rotten fruits remained at the bottom, and she could avoid touching them.
How did you arrange it so neatly? Well done! Here's a bag of gold for you!
The lazy girl took the gold and ran home. She never went to that grocery store again.
Just 1 more bag of gold left.
The lazy girl was so tired and bored with her work that she fell asleep while dreaming by the window. She dreamed that she was dancing at a ball. Everyone around her was admiringly watching her dance with her new clothes and shoes.
See how beautifully she dances.
I can't take my eyes off her shoes! How beautiful they are!
The lazy girl suddenly woke up.
I'll deceive 1 more person, and then I'll have another bag of gold.
She immediately went to the market. This time she got a job with a tailor. The tailor asked her to sew patches on the skirts with the right colors. But the lazy girl chose irrelevant colors for each patch and never managed to sew it properly.
Ugh, my fingers hurt because of the needle. Ugh, I can't do that anymore.
The lazy girl gathered up all the skirts and hid them aside. When the tailor came and asked, she said that the owners of the skirts came. They liked the patches very much and they took them away.
Oh, that's great! Well done! Here you go, for your good work. A bag of gold for you.
The lazy girl ran home as she grabbed the gold. She never went to the tailor's shop again. She took the 3 bags of gold she had hidden in a corner and went to Karen happily.
Karen, look! 3 bags of gold. I earned them all with my hard work. Come on, give me the shoes.
Karen took the gold and handed the shoes to the lazy girl in a box. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention. These are magical shoes. They don't hurt only honest and hardworking people. The lazy girl didn't pay attention to what Karen said. She immediately slipped the shoes on her feet. She was so happy that she started walking around the market, dancing. She saw a beautiful dress in a window. She wanted to stop to look at it, but the shoes wouldn't allow it.
Hey! What's going on? I can't stop! Help me! Help!
Everyone in the bazaar was watching the lazy girl who was dancing and jumping in amazement.
Look! Isn't that the girl who deceived us? Oh, it's indeed her?
That girl tricked me too!
The shoes made the lazy girl dance in the market for hours. The girl's feet were so swollen after that she started to cry in pain.
Help me! My feet hurt so bad! I promise I will be a more honest and hardworking person from now on!
The baker, the greengrocer, and the tailor, who felt sorry for the lazy girl, rushed to her aid. They managed to catch her, albeit with difficulty, and remove the shoes from her feet. And the magical red shoes danced away by themselves.
Oh, thank you for saving me. Even though I lied to you and didn't do anything right. And you helped me despite that.
After that day, no one called the lazy girl again. Because she earned her gold by working honestly and without being lazy in every job she got. So she bought herself new clothes and a pair of shoes she loved so much. The only magic of these shoes was nothing but the joy of earning honestly.